Diamond, and welcome to December's All You Serve webinar. Just some housekeeping tips. The webinar will be available on the All You Serve website by Monday, and the PowerPoint will also be available. Any questions, please type in during the presentation. And I think we're going to give a few minutes more for some people to get on, about 3 minutes, and then we will get started, if that's okay with everybody. Everyone's in mute tone, so if you have any questions, please type it in, and we will certainly answer those questions. Okay. Good morning for some. I said good afternoon, but it is good morning for some of you. Got a few international people on the call as well. All right. All right, we're going to get started in 2 minutes. We're going to start at 3:03, so I will put that out. So okay. And good afternoon. My name is Marcia Diamond, and I'm a registered dietitian as well as new business development with All You Serve. I also speak on mindfulness to many retreats, as well as the healthcare symposium, as well as many, many hospitals being brought in. I welcome you this afternoon. All You Serve wanted to give you a holiday gift, getting you ready for handling family, friends, and work. Some housekeeping tips. If you have any questions, please type them. At the end, I will try to get to them. Otherwise, I will email you back with your answers, as well as my contact information will be on the last slide, so if you want to give me a call. The PowerPoint and the audio will be available on the All You Serve website by Monday, and the certificate of participation for the CEU credit will be there as well. Just download it, and you'll be able to get that. So once again, welcome. Okay, so got a big group here today, and I'm grateful for that. So we're going to speak about today mindfulness in business and beyond. So let's get started. In addition to supporting, everyone's heard the term mindfulness, and if you haven't, it's a very big buzzword. I think a lot of people have heard it. Not all sure if it's been heard in the right phrasing, but mindfulness, in addition to supporting the overall health and well-being, has been linked to improved cognitive functioning and lower stress levels. Yes, I did say lower stress levels. What mindfulness means is to be in the moment, to be here now. How many of you, if I would have asked and done a poll, how many of you would say, I'm multitasking, I'm emailing, I'm thinking what I have to do next, I'm thinking what I have to do for dinner? I want to give you all a break. Stop and just focus. Be here. By being here now for the next 30 minutes and sharing with me, you will reduce your stress, as well as you will find that you will be more creative and innovative. There's been literature that says about 40%, at least 40%, we have chronic workplace stress. What does that mean? It carries over to home, it carries over to your daily work, and obviously carries over to your personal health. So, mindful. Are you mindful or are you mindful? Being full of everything in your mind means you're distracted, which is increasing all the time. Electronic information, distraction from an email popping up, distraction from somebody coming into your office, your customers, all of this. How do you respond is what I'm going to talk about today, and how do you react to people and situations. So think about these things as we said it. Are you distracted and time deprived? Sure, many of you got on this and said, I really need to hear if I have some tactics that can help me move forward. Is there a need to have strategies to better relate to others? This time of year, more than any other time, you are being pulled in probably 10 different directions between, Obamacare, cuts, holiday parties, home, just seems to multiply. Rushing around, work rage, road rage. All of these components don't let you be mindful in the moment because we're either thinking what we did or what we're going to do. So today I'm going to give you some strategies to relate to others. I'm going to give you some tactics, and I'm going to give you ways to diffuse any of that negative emotions so you're able to better integrate your work, your life. Notice I didn't say balance. What works for you may not work for me. And so balance means you have to be on a scale and you're 50-50. Integration means whatever your work and your lifestyle is integrated that works for you. Again, whatever your work and your lifestyle is integrated and works for you. So today we're going to talk more about mindfulness, but I want to talk about the big picture. It's not only you're hearing people walk around and saying, oh, what's that? Or sitting, in a cross-legged position. People are doing mindfulness or being in the moment to get healthier. Companies such as Google, General Mills, Cargill, Kaiser Permanente, eBay, Plantronics, the U.S. military are implementing these types of strategies to help their employees and help their workers, to help their patients. Mindfulness has even been implemented into oncology healing. So these are techniques that have been evolving to help with the healing. So let's look at these pictures. Does anyone look like you? Is this your expression right now? How we walk around, body language, how we act is a reflection of how we think and how we feel. Are you aware that that's how you're coming across? Some of you are shaking your head. So we're talking about being mindful. How many of you today got to work but don't know how you got there? How many of you were on a line to maybe get a cup of coffee, a latte, and as soon as there was a line, you pulled out your phone? Instead of using the time to calm or in the car to reflect or to give yourself the time, you try to use every moment for technology, for the next step. So we're going to not be so much on autopilot, but we're going to teach you today to be present and not distracted by the past or the future. There's been some studies over the last couple of years with parents who've had newborns who are working parents and aren't in the moment. And some sad stories have come out of it is that you go and gathering your baby, putting the baby in the back seat, going to work, forgetting the baby's in the back seat, and then obviously you knew the next step. Very tragic, very tragic. What has been started is mindfulness workshops about being in the moment. So again, you can see how being present you can gain so much more from your life. Mindfulness started its roots in Buddhism, but you need not know a thing about that if you want to connect with your own inner. It's about engaging managers to make better assessments and staying with the company and strengthening your non-judgment. So I'm going to give you some tactics, now that you know a little bit about mindfulness and where it's coming, on how to move forward. One of the things I think I need you to think about, and putting around in your work environment, at home, I could send you lots of stuff like that if you'd like, but around your work environment, things like this. That's how to get first started. If you wake up in the morning and you see something like this, or you see something that says be happy, and then you implement that into your office or into your food service department. Besides, I know you have to wash your hands before you handle food. I understand those things. But why not something like this, or something like be happy, or something about integration? If we think more, I have a blog coming out next week, and if we think with some tactics like this, if we put these posters around, what can you do but smile? So one food service place, after I recommended it, put together a smiley poster. And that smiley poster had individuals underneath, a big smiley posters with tearaways. You know, you have your tearaway, you want to call about purchasing something. Well, the tearaways were little smiley faces saying, be happy. What could you do? Nothing but smile when you saw that. Again, incorporating being in the moment, that smile, being in the moment. So, again, posters like this. Open your mind, open your heart. These kind of images around your food service department. There's no reason you can't have images like this, in addition to the things that you have to have about from the health department or employee policies. But why not add this and make you more mindful? Thinking about this, making yourself more mindful, why not carry it through and help your department be more mindful? So these tactics, if you do it, you can be then the teacher in training of this. Your business productivity grows when employees increase their focus, improve their decision-making, unlock creativity, and improve team or collaborative skills. Mindfulness practices, which we will do a few at the end, will help you achieve this. You will help sustaining your employees. You will unlock their and your creativity. So this should make you smile. Happiness is when you think, what you say, and what you do are in harmony. If you yourself are reflecting this out there through how you communicate, the type of email, how you speak, your body language, and how you react to situations, you will then be living or existing in the moment. It's a matter of perspective. A lot of people, when they hear the term mindful, get very turned off. They just feel, I don't have time to do this. I don't have time to be in the moment. I've got to think about what I've got to do next. Everything that irritates us about ourselves can lead us to an understanding of others. A lot of times when we don't want to be in the moment, or an employee comes to us with a challenge, it's because there's something about us that's challenging to ourselves. And this saying really is, if we can think about what we're thinking and work with that. Okay, so practicing mindfulness. It's going to boost your productivity. It's going to decrease sick days. It's going to increase morale. It's going to make you more energized. How do you do it? So let's start. When I started doing mindfulness, what you have to do is breath. There are all different types of way of doing it. But one of the things to remember is to do breath, morning breath. And how do you do morning breath for deep cleansing? So if everyone can think of taking a deep breath in and then letting it out. Another one, deep breath in and letting it out. Engaging your whole body. If you follow the breath, even in your sitting position at your office, do at least 10 cleansing and let your breath anchor you. Shut your door for a few minutes. That will allow you to get back in the moment. When you're engaging at home, let's say you start at home, what I have done is the breath, and then I do an intention and reflection, kind of mindful. I say what I'm grateful for, how my day is going to go. It doesn't really take more than 10 minutes, probably even less, but it's something I do. If you're in the car and you don't have time to do that, obviously don't shut your eyes when you do the breath, but you could do the breath and follow them. Again, incorporate that in your workday. Check in with yourself. I'm going to teach you some mindfulness walking and reframing as well. What breaths do is quiet the mind. It makes you become in the present. You cannot but become in the present. Let's say your health department walks in. This has happened. I've spoken to many people after I've done this presentation. They sent me emails. The State Department comes in and you're in a reactive mode. What you should do first is take some deep breaths. Give yourself a focus point and anchor those breaths. Deep cleansing breaths. You will find that you will be able to compose yourself, focus, and get more insight and be aware of what you're doing. Some other tactics. Let's say you're distracted and scattered. Things are going on in your life. You need to take a practice. And what the breaths do is give you a practice to come back that. Keep coming back to it. How about approach of mindfulness when it comes to colleagues or office politics and gossip? No one has that, right? Everyone doesn't. No one has that. So what do you do? How do you get back in the present when you're hearing all this gossip? And you're not supposed to be judgmental. And you want to not assume the worst. So you have to be non-judgmental. Take your breath. And as you hear something, don't contribute to it, but reframe your statement. I hear this about Mary. We need to be understanding where Mary's coming from today. Reframe. If you do the breaths before you do that, you will be gaining it back. How many of you do this? How many of you eat at your desk and don't know what you've eaten? And therefore, what is happening? Stress builds up. You're probably popping Tums or Pepsin or antacid. Again, breaths before you eat a lunch, and then when you're eating lunch, be aware of your chews. Be aware of your taste. That's kind of like a mindful eating quick. By doing that, you will find you will enjoy the food, less stress eating, and then be able to deal with the rest of your day. Try it. Next time you eat a meal or eat a snack, shut your eyes and chew the food. Realize what senses will come into being and how you'll get back. Here's another thing at work that you may happen. You cannot figure out the solution to this problem. You cannot. So what do? You're stuck. You are stuck. You don't know how to figure out the key to this problem. I want you to sit quietly and do nothing for 5 minutes. Just breathe. Just breathe your breath. That's all I want you to do for 5 minutes. It's not any different than you just staring in front of the computer or looking at a piece of paper, a budget, and realizing you're stuck. So stop and do your breaths. Focus and anchor your breath. When you open your eyes or when you stop your breath, you will look at that paper or that computer and creativity will flow. The other thing is, I hear so many times from people, they're frustrated with the lack of progress in themselves and in others. They're just, they're just frustrated. They're just very frustrated. Why can't this person do this? Why can't this person do that? The first thing you have to do is forgive that person. Say, right now in your office, whoever you're frustrated with, I want you to say, I'm not going to be frustrated with them. I'm going to accept them for who they are, and I'm going to, for the moment, I'm going to accept them for who they are, for the moment. And I'm going to also, if it's frustrated with yourself, I'm going to forgive myself. And again, breath. Then what you're going to do is with this person who you're frustrated with is take them through a walking meditation. You're going to talk to them about what you're doing, about your new philosophy or your mantra. And you're going to engage them to start doing that. If you start engaging them and incorporate it, you may find that they may open up and be able to move forward. Another thing that is a lot of people who get stuck in creativity, the other thing you can use is music. Listen to music without doing anything else. Music is a real way of healing because you'll anchor on the rhythm. So that's another tactic. The more times you practice this, the more you become attentive to be fully involved in what you're doing. And you will start to realize things that you never realized before. Try it tomorrow. Don't be on the phone when you go to work. Look what you see. There have been lots and lots of studies of two people going into a room and what one person sees and what another person sees based on where their mind is at. Another thing is before lunch, which someone mentioned that, thank you very much. Another technique is when you start your day, you're doing it at home, during your day, have a workday triage. Check in with your breath. Today I had a very tough day myself, and I realized I had timelines and deadlines. So I stopped. I said, I'm not going to get them done any quicker. Stopped and went for a walk and did some breaths. I checked in with myself, realizing I'm not able to get any more time out of myself at that moment. So I quieted my mind, came back, and it went like that. At lunch is another way to do it. Take a few moments, those breaths. They really, 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 really work. When you start to do it, you're going to get some of the emails like I've been getting from people. Okay, here are some tips for aiding leadership. Responding, don't react. I hear this a lot of times. Someone will come into your office, or you're in a meeting. We have so many meetings, and we're so busy. We want to jump in right away with a comment. Take a moment. Reflect. Think. Read your mind. You don't have to do the deep cleansing breath when you're in the meeting, but you certainly can do the breaths so that they're not breathe in through your mouth, your nose, and take a moment, reflect, then answer or respond. Or to an email, same principle. It's going to allow you to be more stable than unstable because you'll be responding, not reacting. Again, chaos in an emergency. If you do these types of techniques, the breathing, whether they're deep cleansing or they're just deep breaths, you will bring focus to your situation. Now, there are lots of other things you can combine it with, music, you can combine it, but again, those breaths, you don't really need anything but your breath, and you can start off with 10 minutes, build up to 20, depending at the end of the day, complement it with the music, but again, start manageable so that you can congratulate yourself. Also, a lot of times we do this with employees. We cloud our judgment. If someone comes into us, instead of dealing in the moment of what has happened, we said, oh, it must have been this, it must have been Joe, because it was Joe last time. And so, again, that clouds our judgment because we're dealing in the past and we're using judgment, and we're not dealing with issues or challenges that are going on today. We need to do that. That's more of what you do. We spend too much time on worrying about the past and then we're worried about what we have to do tomorrow. How many of you are writing down your Christmas list as you're listening to me? And, interesting enough, more accidents, car accidents happen because people are thinking what they have to do next and not aware where they are or where they're at. This is something to think of. How many people floss their teeth? I'm seeing the hands go up. Okay. Think of the accumulating of stress as plaque on your mind, like plaque on your teeth. People take time to brush and floss their teeth every day, but they do nothing to remove the plaque and debris from their minds. Slow down. Think of your brain and your body as the hardware and your heart as the software, and that heart is that breath. The other thing is, in addition to your breath, smile. Praise people in the day. Reward. It's contagious. A lot of people like to have meetings. I believe in the kitchens of today, our kitchens, we should be doing hugs. Why? Because it's in the moment. We're talking about today. We're talking about what's going to go on today in our operation. Quick, 10 minutes. You even could do deep cleansing breaths with everyone. Everyone will laugh and be uncomfortable at the beginning, but if you start to do it, you will see people react better and connect more. So again, we floss our teeth. What do we do for our minds? Another tactic is connection. The more we collaborate groups or cross-training of employees, the more we connect people. We encourage employees to meditate. We encourage employees to work well together. We'll definitely have less conflict and a greater sensitivity and compassion towards each other, towards our residents or our patients, and towards our colleagues and peers within that hospital organizational setting. Again, try this approach in your own department. Start yourself. You be the leader, and then start. You will see something. Now, if you haven't heard this, this is not a dress rehearsal. People matter most. Yes, budgets and deadlines, but people matter most. So kind, caring, empowered staff working with residents or patients is what you truly want. Because if you do that, everything is going to work. We have to realize daily huddles. We have to realize the breaths. We have to incorporate these kind of things. Okay, I talked about integration. Remember, what you do at work, you should be doing at home. If you want to feel appreciated, you need to make your family feel appreciated, and you have to make your workers, and ultimately everyone will. Focus on where and who you are. How many times when you go into work, someone says, you say to someone, how are you today? And someone goes, oh, my dog is sick, and my daughter failed her test, and I'm really not feeling so good. And you respond by saying, oh, I'm so glad. Everything is good. I'll see you later. I've heard this more times than not. People are already thinking what they have to do next and really are not really following and asking the question to truly hear the answer. They just want to do the niceties. Focus on who you're with. It means a lot when you're looking at somebody and you're really hearing the answer. When you ask an employee about a situation, focus. Don't think about, oh, the past moment. Focus. It will change the way your employees respond to you and the way your residents and patients, do you look at them? Do you take the moment? And also, be realistic. I know we have the same amount of time, you and I, in our day, but we have to be realistic. And I have to say this, I hear this too many times, I don't have time to do it for myself. It starts with you. Be good to yourself, and everything else will respond. If you don't start being good to yourself, there's where the challenges arise. Okay, so we're going to practice strategic acceptance. We're going to do a 3-minute breathing space. We're going to tune in to the distractions, and we're going to take breaks when we need them. The other thing we're going to do is email meditations. After writing an email, stop and take 3 deep breaths. Focus on the inhale and exhale. Okay, everybody, breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. We're going to focus on that. Why? Because when we're conscious of what we're putting out there, we don't click as quickly to send an email just to get it off our list, because the intent and the action may not be the same of what we want. And you will prevent yourself from making a mistake. So a pause. And also find time to unplug. Start to think about one of these things that you can do today, and then add others on. Can't expect you to do them all at once, but the more you do, the more you're open and you'll be more connected. Other things to remember for living your life: don't compare yourself to others. Never obsess over things you cannot control. Know and keep your personal limits and boundaries. Don't overcommit yourself or your team. Sometimes it's okay to say, no, I won't be able to do it this day, but will next Tuesday work for you? I've been involved with I do a lot of business coaching, and I've been involved where people want to say yes, 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 and then they can't achieve it or they get slippage off it. Take a moment and say, what's a realistic time frame? And then you say to somebody, or you email them, will Tuesday work for you so that I can get this in the way you want value added? Approach it so that it's valuable to them. You will find more people will say okay than no to your question. Remember, you get the same amount every day as everyone else. No one's more special in that way. Don't bother to hate. I always hear when actually, as a matter of fact, last night, someone just got a new job in a new healthcare facility, but they lost their last one. And so their comment to me is, that person, that director will get hers. And I made a comment. I said, is it really worth it to think about what they're getting? You've been grateful to get now a new position. You should be in the moment and thinking about what you're going to do instead of putting that energy into the past, because it doesn't do anyone any good, and it truly doesn't make you feel better in the long run. So remember, things happen for a reason. Move forward. Don't try to win every argument, even your husband or wife or kids. And smile and laugh more. Definitely incorporate it. Do you do fun in your kitchen? I know we've heard this before, but you really should consider that, doing something fun. How your attitude also in a hospital organization. I hear a lot of food service departments say, well, we tell them to be kind to the patients, and they have to be kind to each other in the department. But if you've ever been in a hospital, that's true. Many of them are doing that. Or if you've ever been in a major corporation, the department itself is doing it to the main senior management and to themselves. But to other departments, they're not. Somehow it doesn't extend. It should extend to everyone. Release, that breathing, that culture of kindness, all of that. That culture of kindness, that smile, nodding, acknowledging people, being in the moment, doing that stuff. So today is a present. Finish each day and be done with it. You've done what you could. We all have some blunders and absurdities. No doubt. We've had doubt creep in. Forget them. Move on. I'm always having to remember this poem because we have to be the best we could each day. Today is a new day. Begin it well and serenely, and with too high a spirit to be cumbered with old nonsense. This day is all good and fair. It is too dear with its hopes and invitations to waste a moment on yesterday. I put this into it to give you a mindfulness practice to get you started. This is something you can do with your teams. 4 important things to realize when you're doing this. You will begin to notice as the more you practice this, your brain will get more open, you will get more skills, you will have better reaction, and you will be better paying it forward. You will definitely be able to handle the next health department, the next budget crunch, and you will definitely become more gratitude and gracious in what you do. So hopefully I've given you some tips and tricks to get through the holiday season. Everyone do those breaths. Start off when you get off this. Do those deep cleansing breaths. Think about it. Do those huddles. Bring this knowledge to them. Be in the moment. I know you're making lists, but remember those lists. Deal with the moment. Don't worry about the future, even though those lists are there. But you need to focus in the moment so that your actions really follow through. The more you do this, the more creative you get, the more stress you get, relieved you get, and you'll be able to handle employee complaints, resident complaints, and you'll be able to turn it. The more people do this in the oncology for these major corporations, they really have changed the way they've had absenteeism and healing. Truly, truly try it. You can be sitting in a chair, you can be laying in your bed in the morning, you can be driving in a car, but be in the moment and be aware. Any questions? Well, thank you for joining me. If you have any, I've got one question. The question was, what if people do not want to hear how I am trying to improve? You do it for your, excuse me, you do it for yourself. What you do for yourself and how you improve will be reflective in your actions, and it will be contagious. You're doing it for yourself. Ultimately, the people around you will know that there's a change and more innovation and creativity. Thank you for that question. Attitude reflects leadership. Absolutely. Question, the more you have a compassionate attitude or a reflective attitude, it shows your employees that you're not reactive but more reflective in how you're responding. And therefore, they'll be more open to come to you and offer suggestions and help you with your leadership. Thank you again for joining us. And any other questions, I certainly will answer. Again, everything will be on the All You Serve website. I wanted to thank All You Serve for thinking this was an important topic to cover and to give it to everybody for the holidays as well as for starting 2014. Thank you again and have a wonderful holiday season. If you need to contact me, my information is here. Thank you and have a great afternoon.